Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, September 25th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Gina Barty. Thank you for joining us tonight. Starting next month, 2 new state laws will go into effect. One of these is to improve the safety of our roads, and the other decreases the penalty for the possession of an illegal substance. CTV's Stephen Graves has more.
In less than a week, Marylanders will see changes to the rules of the road and their personal possession of marijuana. The first will require drivers to move over. They'll have to shift one lane over to protect the safety of law enforcement and emergency vehicle personnel who are stopped on the side of the road.
It's hard to watch what you're doing and keep an eye on the cars that are coming at you at the same time.
Lawmakers have also added tow trucks to that list, resulting in violators dishing out up to $750 and incurring 3 points on their license. This addition is something drivers like Jack Dickerson are happy about.
We're out there 24/7, so and there's a lot of others, so we definitely appreciate it.
From requiring drivers to move over for safety measures to a more controversial issue, Maryland is also switching lanes when it comes to marijuana. A new marijuana bill decriminalizes small portions of pot, making it a civil offense in lieu of a criminal offense. Under the new legislation, anyone who possesses 10 grams or more without any paraphernalia will incur a fine of up to $100 for the first offense, $250 for the second, and up to $500 for the third offense.
As much as we have all these cultural
marijuana advocates say this new law makes sense for many reasons.
It means that people like myself who responsibly use cannabis in the state of Maryland don't live in fear of getting arrested, prosecuted, and potentially incarcerated for just using marijuana responsibly on your property.
So whether you have to move over or light up, these new laws will make you change your thinking when it comes to both. For CTV News, this is Stephen Graves reporting.
Both of these laws will go into effect starting October 1st.
And on the economic front tonight, state officials are predicting a budget shortfall of $405 million. Officials blame the sluggish economy and slower than expected job growth. Now, the good news, the state says, the write-down will not require immediate cuts in the budget. CTV spoke with Delegate Aisha Braveboy today about what this all means.
I think what we cannot do as a state, and we can't afford to do to our constituents, is to raise their personal taxes, whether it's income taxes or property taxes. I think people feel very overwhelmed, just like the state has not grown as they've projected. Incomes haven't grown either, and I think one of the biggest areas that's driving the revenue write-down is personal income taxes, which means that individuals are not making sort of as much as they would like to or need to in this economy, and so we cannot continue to burden our taxpayers.
But right now, no one's talking about it.
No one's talking about it, but I think that's always the question of whether or not.
The state says the shortfall can be absorbed by a surplus fund.
The county school systems plans to open 2 high schools designed specifically for recent immigrants and second-generation students is stirring up some controversy. The local branch of NAACP is opposed to the idea, arguing the concept may be unconstitutional under the Brown versus Board of Education. The landmark ruling declares separate public schools for black and white students violated the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. On the other hand, Casa de Maryland believes the school will provide an opportunity to serve a population that faces significant academic challenges. The organization does not see it as a segregation because attending the schools would be an option, not mandatory by law.
We don't believe that it is segregation. Again, we want to really state clearly that this is another option. We are not forcing all of the English language learners to be a part of these schools. It's just an option that they have. Like there are options across the county. For example, the Academy of Health Sciences, the Academy of Business, and other schools that are part of the county already, which unfortunately some of our English language learners are not able to get into because there are requirements.
See, we understand the need. There's a need for everybody to speak English. We understand the need, but the need cannot overturn the law. And the law, and Brown spoke very clearly to that. We can't go backwards and create two separate entities.
Well, we want to know what you think. Do you believe establishing these schools would be a form of segregation, or is it a move towards working on the needs of English learning students? Tweet us at PGCTV.
And Eric Holder, the nation's first black U.S. Attorney General, is stepping down. The Justice Department made the announcement earlier today. Now, Holder, who is one of the longest-serving members of President Obama's cabinet, was often a target of Republican-led efforts to vilify him, perhaps most notably voting to hold him in contempt of Congress for refusing to hand over documents about a gun trafficking program known as Fast and Furious. As Attorney General, Holder also sued states, accusing them of trying to restrict voting rights. According to NPR, Holder met with the president over the Labor Day weekend to discuss the specifics of the resignation. He says he'll stay on until his successor is found, and that may take until the end of this year, or 2015. And Richard Sarles, Metro's CEO, who helped revamp the subway system after the fatal Red Line crash 5 years ago, is stepping down. Now, Sarles stunned many of his colleagues when he announced that he's retiring this upcoming January. Last year, he extended his contract through January of 2016. He says he's leaving so that he can spend more time with his family. Metro board members are praising Sarles, saying he led the agency out of its darkest chapter. Well, you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Gina Bartik.